What up, everyone? So, time for another review. I've gotten way beyond calling these monthly reviews anymore. One, I don't always do them monthly, and two, most of these boxes aren't monthly anymore. They're either bi-monthly or quarterly or sometimes even annual. So, yeah, I just kind of do them when I get enough boxes at this point. The only the only two I have that are still monthly are Loot Crate and Lootaku. So yeah, all the rest of them are much more rare than that. So I just kind of do them when I see enough of them show up. Then it's just kind of time for a video, and that's just how it's going to be from now on, because once upon a time these were all monthly, but not so much anymore. So a lot of these are from the 2018. A few of them are from November. Most of them are from December. I don't think any of them are from January, actually, because they haven't started showing up yet. And that's the other reason why they're not monthly. They're just so inconsistent all the time. A lot of them show up late, and it's just way too difficult to try and figure out which month they're in, so I just kind of try to do them whatever. So, excuse me, it's a big mess in here. I just did a big garage sale, yard sale, sold off a bunch of stuff, got some funds, which is good, so I'm going to sign up for more boxes. And like I said before, if anyone ever sees stuff they like in here, feel free to hit me up or stop by and make a deal, because I have too much stuff. As you can see, it's falling apart in here because it's such a mess. This is driving me crazy, by the way. I'm seeing this in the reflection, and it's bothering me. So I got to put that shelf back up. Anyway, so we have 8 boxes here, and overall, this set of boxes was pretty disappointing. They kind of were pretty much a letdown for the most part. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. So we'll go through each one, and I've kind of put them in order from worst to best, but it's kind of a close call on some of these, and it's getting harder and harder to judge on these too. So we'll go through that, and hopefully more stuff to come. I feel like I had more to say, but I don't remember. I'm sure I'll remember along the way. So without further ado, let's just get right on to it. So the first box, this one is definitely the worst. Number 8, we got the Deadpool Merc Club from Loot Crate. Now this box was straight ass, and it has been. It's never been good. And the quality of stuff in there has been subpar at best, and it's just way too expensive. Let me check my little chart here. So yeah, this box is $40, which, considering how expensive these boxes have gotten lately, that's not too bad, actually. A lot of these boxes that are quarterly are a lot more expensive. They're in the $60 range. So this is actually one of the cheaper quarterly boxes, but it's just not good in quality. It's so weird. Deadpool's a really popular character, and there's so much that can be done with that character. It's very lackluster what they do here. So, we got a shirt this time, and the shirt design was actually not too bad. The shirt design was decent. Loot Crate does pretty decent quality shirts, but that's the only good thing I can say about it. We got a scarf in here, which, again, I don't know why people put scarves. I'm sure scarves are useful somewhere in the world or somewhere in the US where it's very cold, but honestly, it's very cold here now, and I haven't seen a single person wearing a scarf. It just seems like such an odd choice to put in there. But, you know, it seems okay for Deadpool. It's still kind of funny, but I have so many scarves that I've gotten from boxes I've never once used. It just seems like an odd choice. And the other thing that sucks is you can't really resell them, because who wants scarves? It's such an odd thing to put in there. But the quality on the scarf was good, so at least there's that. Then the other items in here just kind of straight up sucked. We got napkin rings, which is such an odd choice, but you know, okay, fine, napkin rings. If I were to have napkins that needed rings, honestly, I would put Deadpool ones. Sure, why not? I don't know how many people actually use napkin rings in this day and age. Very rare and odd thing to put in there, but for the few people that do, sure, why not do Deadpool ones? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But if you look at these napkin rings, they straight up suck. There's just no design quality in there. Honestly, if these had shown up, or if I saw these at a dinner table, and if I hadn't gotten them from a Deadpool box, I honestly wouldn't think they were Deadpool. They're so simplistic, it just kind of looks like a kitsch design of a couple polka dots that's a napkin ring. If I saw this at someone's random house, I don't think I would even make the Deadpool reference, because it's just so simplistic. There's just no design to them at all. And they're also a pretty cheap feeling in quality. So it's funny that they make a Deadpool box, but they make things that are barely recognizable as Deadpool. They didn't even really do the Deadpool logo right. They did this like oval shape with just like 2 dots in there, and that's just very poorly designed. And the same thing with the pin, just looks weird. Then we got an art print in there, which is worthless as always. It's not like signed or numbered or anything. It's just a very simple design. And then we got some stickers, which are also kind of crappily designed too. So the best thing I can say about it is the shirt had a decent design. The scarf was of decent quality, but is useless. The napkin rings were very poorly designed and pretty much useless anyway, because like I said, who uses those? Art print is worthless, some stickers, which is nothing, and the pin, which kind of sucked too. So there's just not really anything good to say about it. The best thing I could say about this box is that the shirts are okay. Not even good, they're just okay. That's the best thing I could say about it. And for $40, you are not getting your value's worth. You're not even getting $40 worth of value. And what sucks even more is that if you don't like something, you're not going to be able to resell it because nobody else wants that shit either. So I don't know what it is about Loot Crate and their boxes. Their main box, great. Everything else I've ever seen from that company has been absolute shit. So this one, definitely not worth it. This is the third one we've seen, so I'm absolutely going to cancel it now if I can remember, so we may see one more because I always seem to forget. But other than that, I've seen nothing good from this box. I've seen nothing good out of it. Do not waste your time. There are so many better things out there that are Deadpool you can just get on their own. There's so many better boxes out there. This is just absolutely the lowest of the low, and I would not waste my time in any way, shape, or form. So, that's enough hate on that box. To-do. We got a brand new box that we have not seen before. This is number 7, Super Geek Box Prime. So Super Geek Box has actually been around a long time, and I was actually a pretty big fan of their boxes. I really liked it when they first started up. For those of you who didn't know, there was a box, 1UP box, way back in the day, which I think they've ceased production as last time I checked, and people from 1UP box split off and created Super Geek Box. Very similar, but it was much better. It was much better in quality. They did a really good job, and I was actually a really big fan of it, but they both kind of went downhill and tanked. So, as most companies are doing now that haven't been good, they went from a monthly box to a quarterly box. Up the price, up the quality, and I've been saying that's probably the smart move to do, and that seems like the only option, because monthly just seems too often, and that's just not enough time to really put good quality stuff in there. That's not enough time to get exclusives. That's not enough time to design things. It's just too much of a struggle, so I think it's better for these companies to go either bi-monthly or quarterly, depending on what it is. So I think that was a smart move. And I saw their first box, and I was actually pretty impressed by it. They did a decent job. And like I said, I've always liked Super Geek Box, but the quality just kind of went downhill, and their box was so cheap. It was like $15, and there's just... they had poor designs after a while, and it kind of went the same route as 1UP box, where it was just like really goofy stuff in there. And they were infamous for that famous Mario Batman shirt that is just awful. It's so bad. So, and the funny thing is, I don't think this box is that popular because I couldn't even find a picture of it. So here's the little description card, and I'll try to take a better picture of that. And the reason why this is lower on the countdown is because of the price. So, let me check my chart. So yeah, after tax and shipping and everything was said and done, this box came out to $72. So I liked the box when I saw the first one because I thought it was pretty cool. I thought they did a good job. The t-shirt designs were pretty clever. And I don't know if I have a picture of the first one. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, but not realizing how much it cost. So they did a decent job, but... for $72, it just wasn't worth it. And this box is actually not as good as the first one. So this one, we only got 5 items in there. And for $72, that's just not that great. And considering that 2 out of the 5 items were both t-shirts, that's already not off to a good start. So I do like that they added like a long sleeve t-shirt in, so they're trying to mix it up a little bit, which is better. I think it's better when the boxes do like outerwear, because the sizes are more universal. It's easy to get outerwear than it is like t-shirts, because some people like t-shirts fitted, some people don't, but outerwear is a lot easier to do in my opinion. So I like that they were doing a long sleeve t-shirt as an alternate, which is cool, but they shouldn't have done 2 t-shirts. It seems kind of odd. So I like that they did the whole Snorlax thing. I think that's kind of funny. And they have the Jigglypuff cursing, I guess. But the other thing on this was the quality of the prints is not super well. So I'll pull it out right now. Where are they? So these shirts, if you can see on the camera, I don't know how well it's going to show it, but they have a high gloss finish. So you see how it's really glossy right there? That means that these are like iron-on, and that means they're also not going to stay. And it's the same one with this one. When they're these iron-on patterns, they look nice, but they're not going to stay. These don't last long over the wash, so they either fade or they chip away really easily. So that's the problem with that. So the quality is not really there on that, and they're not going to last a long time. So that's pretty unfortunate. And as far as the design on these shirts, they're okay. Like, it's kind of funny. I think I would wear them once or twice, but I don't think any box should do 2 t-shirts ever. I'm not a big fan of boxes doing t-shirts in general because it's too hard to please everyone. I like them fitted. Some people like them baggy. Some people like them thick and thin. It's just too hard to do that. And I don't know, we just get too many shirts in these boxes. It's too common. So for a box to do 2 shirts, it just seems like kind of a waste. And considering that took up 2 spots out of their 5 slots, didn't seem like a good idea. The other one was the Dorbs figure, the Pooh figure, which I like. I'm a big fan of Winnie the Pooh, but that's just a very cheap figure. It's, what, $8? It's not rare or special in any way. Then we got a backpack, which is nice. Backpacks are pretty high in quality. This one was nice, a Mario one. And then we got a big pillow plush Spider-Man. So it seems like they're going for bigger ticket items like special shirts, long sleeve stuff, backpacks, and things like that, which is good, but they're not quite meeting their own value. So they need to figure out a way to get the price down or get some more items in there. So that's kind of the juxtaposition here. I like the stuff they put in there. I think the stuff was good picks. That's what I really liked about Super Geek Box. They always had good choices. So I like that. I do like everything in here, and I think I'll use and keep everything in here, but I just don't think it's worth $72. And like I've always said, basic rule of thumb, you should be getting double what you paid for. So technically speaking, this box should have like $150 worth of value, and it definitely doesn't. You barely get $70 worth of value, and that's if you ticket this backpack at like full market value at like $50. But honestly, if you found a cheap version of this backpack, you probably get it for $20. This plush probably for another like $10 or $15. The Dorbs are obviously $6 to $8, and these shirts $10 to $12 at best. So you're looking at more like $50 worth of value, and you paid $70. So it just doesn't seem like a good call there. So we'll see. I still like that first box, but now looking back on the price point, I don't think it's worth $70 still. I think it was a good choice for this company to go towards the quarterly option. Again, bad move doing 2 t-shirts. They need to do a little more creativity, some more items in there, and I think they could make it work, but so far, not so good. So I wouldn't recommend this one. Like I said, $70 is a shitload of money for anyone. That's a lot of money. Even if it's only quarterly, like when you think about it for the year, that's still like over $200. That's a lot of money for some random stuff that isn't really that quality, and the shirts that aren't going to last more than a few days or a few washes. So unfortunately, I think they have potential. They always have had good picks, but they need to work harder on their value. Next, we got Loot Crate. So this one I got 2 months worth. I got November and December, and nothing really special to say about either one. We always get a t-shirt, and this box is cheap. It's that $20 value, which is good, but there's not much to say about it. We got a figure in each one, which was okay. We got one from Fallout, and another one, I'm forgetting what the game it was from. Then we got a cup from Breaking Bad, I believe it was. Art print. The only thing that I thought was cool about either one was the pins. We had Bumblebee pins in the December box, which I actually really liked. I think they did a good job on those pins, but that was really the only thing I could say about that one. And then the November one had some cool art prints. I liked the design of them. I thought they were pretty cool, and it came with 4 of them. No value there. Those are pretty much worthless, but at least they looked pretty cool. So this one's still just barely skating by. And like I said, the only reason I still keep this one around, I probably would have canceled it quite a while ago because it hasn't been good in a while. But they have that referral program, and I've accrued so many points that my boxes are free for the next like 2.5 years. If I did nothing, I would still get them for another 2 years. So there's no point in canceling them. These boxes are free just from referrals that I've done over the years from the channel. So it's still, if it's free, it's worth getting, but not much more to say than that. If you're seeking this box out and seeking to buy it, it's okay still. Like I said, it's only $20, so it's not that big a deal. If you get a cool shirt that you like, it's still kind of worth it. And if you refer one friend every once in a while and get $5 off, that's cool. And you usually get one other likable thing like a pin, so it's still worth it, but just barely. You're not getting like great value on it. And as we're seeing, a lot of these, pretty much all the boxes are dying off. We're seeing the quality go down. I'm finding it harder and harder to find pictures on the internet. Reviews online are just going away. So maybe this thing was just, the monthly subscription box just seems like it was kind of a fad and it's going away. I still like them. I'll get them and I'll review them till they go away completely. But it seems like the fad has kind of come and passed. So the quality and the investment in these boxes has kind of gone away slowly. And we're definitely seeing it with this box specifically. So like I said, still just barely worth it. Alright, next. Number 5, we got our World's Finest Collection box. And this one's pretty pricey as well. So the quarterly boxes are usually kind of around like that $40 to $60 range. And this one's no exception. This one ends up being $60, but they've done some pretty interesting stuff. Last month was that last time we got that Joker one, and it had a lot less items. This one was kind of the same thing. Had more than the Joker one, but still not that many items. We're getting better, but still not quite getting there. So it's kind of in that middle range where it has some good potential, it has some good stuff, but not great stuff. So we got a Flash duffel bag, and the quality on it's very nice, and I like that they do those expensive things instead of just a regular t-shirt. So I like the duffel bag, and the shirt was good quality too. It had the different color sleeves, and the design on it was pretty interesting, so I like that. But the figures on there, we get a figure each time, and they're just okay. They're exclusive, so they're you can't get them anywhere else, and they hold decent value, but not great value, and the quality on them is not great. The sculpt on them, the paint on them is not super high quality. It's just okay. We got a nice little hat in there, and the coasters were very subpar, nothing really special about them. And then we got a glass in there, which I think was actually glass, now that I'm thinking of it. Yeah, it was actually glass. Let me just confirm. Yeah, so that's good. So at least they're not giving us a plastic cup. So that's what I mean, where they do have little signs of quality in here. They usually pick the nicer quality options versus giving us like plastic and cheap shirts. So there is some design quality in there, and that's why I like this box, because they've given some great jackets. Like the Flash jacket they gave like a few boxes ago, the Reverse Flash one, was fantastic. That's such an awesome jacket. And I like the duffel bag. It's usable. So this one did decently, but not great. And they're pretty soon going to run out of Justice League characters. Like I was saying with the figures, I'm pretty sure they got the licensing to the Justice League characters to do those figures, and they've done most of the characters already. They've done Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, now Flash, Joker, so they're going to run out of characters pretty soon, so they're going to have to start getting more creative. And they should probably invest in maybe some dioramas. I think they would do really great on that. If they didn't do just a single figure standing there very plainly and did like a scene or a diorama like Funko's been doing, I think that'd be really great. I think they have some good potential, and they have some good design quality, so it's worth checking out if you like the character. So if they happen to be doing a character that you're really into, I do think it would be worth the money to check out at least once. But I don't know if it's something that you would want to consistently stay subscribed to, because I don't know if you're going to like every character they do. So it's kind of wavered, but this one was pretty good, so right in the middle, just manageable. The next one, Marvel Collector Corps, which I'm always excited to see because Marvel's always my biggest fandom. I've liked Marvel more than anything else. I like Marvel more than DC. I always like Marvel stuff. And this box seemed really exciting because it was the first 10 years. So it's like, wow, that's pretty much everything. The whole cinematic universe has been only 10 years, so that should cover just about everything. But it's literally the exact opposite of that. I was kind of blown away that they gave it this title. They should have named it something else. They should have given it some other thing, because to name this box like the first 10 years of Marvel and then only give you 3 items is kind of outlandish. And the funny thing is, the ones they picked are so odd. The whole motto was saying capturing the first 10 years. They absolutely did not. So they gave us a diorama from Iron Man 2, a Pez dispenser from Hulk 3, and then some little pint-sized hero of, I think it was Thor and Thanos. How is that spanning the first 10 years? Like, are you out of your mind? How is that spanning anything? They gave some very specific movies, and they didn't even get all the characters. Captain America's not even in there. Hawkeye's not even in there. Nick Fury's not in there. Black Widow's not in there. The normal Hulk's not in there. Like, there's most of the Avengers characters are not in this box. The whole thing that keeps the cinematic universe together, they don't even appear in there. Ant-Man's not in there. Wasp isn't in there. I could go on for days. War Machine, Falcon, Vision, Scarlet Witch, like 80% of the characters that consist of those 10 years don't even appear and aren't even mentioned. Why would they name the box the first 10 years and not cover 80% of what they've done? So it just seemed like a very odd thing to say. They should have given it a literally any other title. And the picks in here were so oddly specific, like how is that spanning? So Iron Man 2, I love Iron Man 2. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies, but it is one of the most hated on movies in the entire 10 years. Most people hate that movie for so many reasons. And I could go on a whole tangent about that specifically, but I won't. But I loved Iron Man 2. I loved the Mark V, which was the briefcase suit that he had in Whiplash. I thought that was cool. I loved it. So I like the diorama. So don't get me wrong. I do like it. It's just weird to say capturing the first 10 years and then pick a very, very specific movie, one that wasn't popular, one that was not even a very popular movie, and make a diorama of that and say it's capturing the first 10 years. That's so weird, and I don't know what the explanation is behind that, but that is just such a specific thing to do. Why, if they were doing a diorama, not do one of a couple characters, or do something that consisted of all the characters? Like, isn't that like the obvious thing to do when you're capturing 10 years? So I still like the diorama. Then we got a Pez dispenser and the pint-sized heroes, which are painted gold, which I fucking hate. I hate it when companies do that, when they want to do an alternate color and they just paint it gold. It's like, that's so lazy. That is the laziest thing to do. If I wanted it painted gold, I would get some spray paint and do it myself. I could literally do that. And it's just so lazy when companies do that. And again, from Hulk, sorry, not Hulk, I keep saying Hulk 3. It's Thor 3, my bad. Thor 3 from Thor Ragnarok featuring Hulk. But again, that's a recent movie. These are all recent. Like, that was a recent movie that came out, what, 2 years ago? They're saying spanning 10 years? That's so stupid. And the same thing, Thanos. Even that character didn't show up until the cinematic universe until nearly the second half. And again, those are painted gold too. So this was just such a lazy attempt by Marvel Collector Corps. They've been going down in items, and that just sucks. So I don't know. I have nothing good to say about it. But while I still like the diorama, so I do like that, but the painted gold stuff is lazy, and they should have picked a different title for the theme. Literally anything else, like sequels could have been the title, because it was Thor 3, Iron Man 2, that could have been sequels. That would have been a decent title. And these gold things, which are like just worthless, nobody's going to want them, nobody's going to want to buy them, nobody's going to want to keep them. But I'll keep the diorama. I like the Mark V, I thought it was cool. But yeah, it's so weird. Very, very odd. I'll still keep Marvel Collector Corps around. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this box, because I just love Marvel so much. I'm a big fan, but just very, very odd. I don't know what else to say about this box other than it was very weird, odd choices. So we'll see what the next one brings, but who knows. Alright, top 3. Ugh, oh, so heavy. Number 3, Geek Fuel EXP. So I was pretty excited about this one, because the last one was badass. They did a great job on that one. This one, not so much. So we have some odd choices in here too, and I want to reference some specific things in here. I'm going to pull them out. So first of all, we got these geeky tikis again. And can I just say, can the companies just stop with these? Like, I didn't like them the first time they showed up. I thought they were very weird to cross over characters with tikis. It was kinda cool to see one time, but we've seen it so many times. How this company is still around, I don't understand. Like, is there that many people that want to see characters as tikis? That's just such a weird crossover. And the other thing is, they just don't do good on the quality. These characters are just like solid colors, and half the time, you can't tell who they are. Honestly, this says Lord of the Rings, but if I just had that green Frodo out on my shelf, I don't think people would recognize who it is, because it's not detailed enough to tell. And the same with the Gollum one, or Schmeagol. I keep forgetting which is which. if I had that out and didn't tell people it's Lord of the Rings, I don't know if they'd be able to guess it. Like, when you say what it is, you're like, oh yeah, it kind of looks like that. But without reference, like, you really don't know because they don't do a very good job. So I'm guessing they get these dirt cheap. I've just never been a fan of them. The Deadpool one was okay that we got in that box one time, but other than that, they've been kind of crappy, and they're a weird thing to put in there. So, not a fan of that. We did get a book, an art book. I like that. We got an art print on canvas. I like that. That's cool too. And then not much else. So we got a pin set where you only get 2 of them, so not that great of an option. And from Firefly, so that's fine. And then we got some tattoos from Master of the Universe, which I like tattoos, but you know, you get tattoos for like $1. They're super cheap, not really something high in quality. Then we got these Masters of the Universe figures, and this is what I want to talk about. So again, very weird, but they're actually really nice quality as far as the sculpt. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick it up. So the sculpt on these is actually really detailed. So they did a good job on them. But the same thing about Marvel Collector Corps, where it's like they just do a solid color. Like they couldn't paint anything on there. That's, again, just so lazy. Is the camera focusing? It's just so lazy to do a solid color, to just like stamp out a character and then just do no paint job on it. I think that's just the laziest thing ever, and it's such a shame because these are actually very nice in quality. Like, I'm looking at the detail on the sculpt, it's actually pretty impressive, but the fact that they put absolutely no paint job effort in there just is a total waste. Like, that makes them seem like they're not worth it. So that just seemed like an odd choice to me. So this one, not bad in any way, just a little bit lackluster, not as many items, and the choices in there were not as great. Whereas the last box, we got a lot of really nice figures that were exclusive, that were of like popular choices, good characters. So I think this box still can do good. The first 2 were really great. I think this one was just kind of an off one. They just had some odd choices that weren't the best. So no big deal. I'm still going to keep this one around, and I do think it will do good. I think it does have potential. So I'm excited to see what, I think this is volume 3. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what volume 4 has. But yeah, they just didn't really hit the mark on this one. So not the worst, not the best, and it is pretty pricey. It's that $65 price point, so you gotta really get something good if you're paying that much. And this one didn't quite do it. I still really like the art book and the print, but other than that, not so hot. But we'll see what it does on box number 4. Alright, number 2, the neck box. I actually really like this one. They did a pretty good job. Again, they have some pretty obscure choices in here, which I'm not really sure how to feel about that. It's obviously already very specific to have 90s Nick stuff. That's already like a pretty limited market there. And the funny thing is, a lot of things they choose are very specific too. So this box hasn't been around that long. They've only done a handful of boxes. I think it's been almost 2 years now, but they're quarterly, so it's only like, what, 8? Or something like that. So I would think they would do all the most popular characters first, and once they filter through them, do some of the more obscure stuff. But they kind of picked the more obscure characters first, which is odd. They pick characters that showed up in maybe like 1 episode of a show, and it's like, that's just very specific. You would have had to have watched every single episode of that show to get that specific reference. So this one is similar, where they have an egg timer. They have it from the Reptar on Ice, which is, again, was one very specific episode. It's not really bad, but it's just like, I don't know, they seem to miss the more main characters. And we got the Mr. Tasty figure, which was cool, but again, he didn't really show up that often either. And Powder Toast Man is really popular, but it was an apron. Again, that's one of the things where it's like the scarf, where I really don't use aprons, and I honestly don't know anyone who does. I know a lot of people that are cooks. I went to a culinary school, but people just really didn't use aprons very often, so it's just not super useful there. We got some nice magnets though, pillowcase, little squishy thing. I like the pins in here, but again, they were from Rocko's Modern Life. Same thing though, it was from a very specific episode. I think it was, I can't even remember it. It was something about food. I think he was getting sick or something like that. But anyway, these pins are from a very specific episode, from a very specific scene. So these characters showed up for like 30 seconds maybe out of the whole series. So I recognize them, but it seems a little risky to pick characters that only showed up in a show's entire run that showed up for a couple seconds here. That it's like we haven't even gotten pins of the main characters from Rocco's Modern Life. Wouldn't that make more sense? Like, we haven't gotten Rocco or Heifer or Filbert. We don't have pins of any of those characters or items of any of those characters. So why pick something so specific when you haven't even done the general stuff? So again, I'm not really sure what to say about that. It's not really bad because I did technically recognize them, but someone that's a fan of the 90s Nick but maybe doesn't remember every episode might not appreciate that. So maybe they should stick to the more general characters, because 90s Nick has a lot of characters in there that they haven't even filtered through. So maybe they should stick to the more popular ones and focus less on the obscure ones. That's just my personal opinion. I still really like the pins. I'm going to keep them. But I think they should do the more popular characters. That's just kind of what I think. So, yeah, other than that, it was fine. We also got what was weird was a cookie stamp set, which I have no idea what to use for. Like, do you, like, maybe someone could say in the comments, a cookie stamp set. Do you stamp the cookies and put the design on there? But how would that even work? If you stamped them and then baked them, it wouldn't hold that shape? Or do you stamp them afterwards? Like, I just don't really know what the use is for those. So some of the items in here are just, a lot of these boxes are just more obscure items that you don't use that often. So again, seems odd to me to pick things that aren't used very often and to avoid things that are. So pick things that are more commonly used, pick characters that are more popular. That just seems like common sense to me, but it doesn't seem like the route they're going. So maybe you guys in the comments can let me know what you think about that, because I'm kind of bothered by that, but I wouldn't say I'm like super bothered by it. So maybe that's just me though. So let me know in the comments what you think about those more obscure character choices. Alright, last one. Almost always in the #1 spot, Lootaku. This one always keeps it interesting, always has something cool to offer, always has high quality, and honestly, most of these boxes just kind of sucked, so this one wasn't, it was still a good box, nothing bad about it, and this wasn't my favorite one, but all the boxes sucked much more, so not that big a deal. But it was still a good one, so we got a really cool pin in there. The pin, I think I put somewhere by now, really well designed, very big, very intricate. That's what I think is really cool. So they're trying to do some exclusives now, Lootaku is, which is fine. I'm glad they're not doing t-shirts though, because the few t-shirts they did, I wasn't a big fan of them, but the pin design they did was really cool. I think that was one of the better pins that I have, and it's huge. And then we got an umbrella in there, which I would say I don't use that often, but it's been raining like shit here lately, so I did actually use that. And we got a really nice mug. So mugs are something that show up a lot in these boxes, but they're usually just the basic mug with a picture on it. Every once in a while we'll get the sculpted mugs, but usually they're not good in quality, not from this company specifically, just in general. They're usually not very well sculpted, but this one was actually pretty cool. So we got the Full Metal Alchemist theme, and the mug was actually pretty well done. I actually really liked it. And then we got a really nice high quality figure in there. So we got a good mix of stuff, things that are useful like the umbrella, a well-designed pin, a really cool figure, a well-designed mug with a good sculpt on it. So all around good stuff. So the only thing that the only complaint I ever have about this company is that I don't always recognize the anime, so that's just something to know. So it's definitely an anime box, but if you're not familiar with all the anime out there, so that might be something to deter you. But other than that, it's been pretty good. The exclusives they're putting out there are very nicely done. It's decent price. It's stuff you're not finding here in America. They have high quality statues, so really nothing bad to say about it. That's why this one's always in the #1 spot, because they just really do good quality. They have a nice little thing going, and yeah. That's all I have to say about that. So there we go, Lootaku. But yeah, this is November's box, by the way. I still haven't seen December's box. We're well into January, and I kind of hope maybe that subscription got canceled. One of my card changed over. By the way, I need to resubscribe to Bandbox. I keep forgetting to. When I told you my card number changed, all these boxes got canceled, and I had to resubscribe, and I keep forgetting to subscribe to Bandbox. It's been like 6 months, and I keep forgetting. So I'm hoping the same thing didn't happen with this box. But it may have. I may just never get December or January's box. I'll have to look up on that. Because, yeah, it seems like December's box should have been here by now because we're well into January. Anyway, that was it. Those were the 8 boxes. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll talk about some more stuff in the future. I've been meaning to do some movie reviews lately because I've seen some good ones, but again, you know, life happens. We got so busy with this garage sale, and the garage got flooded with stuff that I couldn't even record because we just had stacks of tables and boxes here. So I actually have the time to do those movie reviews, but I couldn't get in here, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that Spider-Man movie was fantastic. Venom was okay. Aquaman sucked. And Captain Marvel's coming up. I'm super excited for that. And then Avengers is coming up. We got some really big titles coming up here. And maybe I'll do some more gaming videos. Like we got Smash coming out, and we're got some other things coming up too. So maybe we'll do some stuff on that. Other than that, thank you for watching, supporting. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for supporting. Love you all. Peace.